Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Carnage. And we got a special live stream today because the Premier League season is almost over. And you guys already know I'm joined by my guy, Eddie. As always, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Can't complain. It's a Friday afternoon, feeling good. Last day of the season is about to be upon us. So, listen, man, it all comes down to this, the wire. It's what you want as a fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, the games are definitely going to be interesting, even though I think we all know where it's going to end up, right? Like that Premier League title. But, we'll get into that. But as it's concerning, you, bro, I know, Arsenal fan. And before we even start things off, I think I should just give you the honor of picking who we talk about first, because I want to start with the Premier League title race. And we can either go Man City first or we can go Arsenal. Let me know. And by the way, people, if you're watching, definitely make sure to smash that like button, get in the live chat if you catch us while we're live, and if not, get in the comment section and just cook Eddie's opinions, because he's going to probably say some nonsense. That's just what he does.
Okay.
You know what, bro? I mean, where do you want to start?
Let's start at City. Let's start at the Etihad. I mean, I think people are on this assumption that City are just going to just blow past West Ham, beat them 4-0 or whatnot. And it's the last game of the season. David Moyes' last game as a manager for West Ham. I don't see what they're seeing at all. I don't know what you think about that. But to me, I don't really see them walking over West Ham like that. They have good players. Jared Bowen, Kudus, Beckham Antonio. Those guys are pretty good on the counterattack. And when it comes down to soaking up the pressure, I mean, yeah, as far as the team breaking down, that's possible, right? They can't soak up the pressure for 90 minutes and expect to not concede a goal. But I will say is that they have players that can cause City some problems. So I don't really see the 4-0, the 3-0 type of predictions that people are saying. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that we are definitely not the favorites right now.
So is that more hope talking? Because what we've seen from West Ham lately has not been good. I mean, let's be honest. They got slapped up by Chelsea. And I think David Moyes, it's like you brought up, it's his last game there. They've already got their new manager in. And I think a lot of those big players that they have, such as maybe not Jared Bowen, right? I think he ends up staying at West Ham. But, maybe Mohamed Kudus, Lucas Paqueta, and then Edson Alvarez. I could definitely see those three players moving in the transfer window. So would they even care enough to really go out there and try to stop Man City from winning the title, even though they are going to want to win the game, right? I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and just lay down, but they have nothing to play for. West Ham aren't in trouble of getting relegated, and they're not going to be able to advance into like a European spot. So this is just another day for them, and they're going to be going against a fully motivated City. So I don't know, man. Like, it seems like you're just trying to be a bit optimistic, but
I'm not really.
All right, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I don't really see them get slapped up like that. I didn't say that they wouldn't lose. That's not me being optimistic. I think that they have good players that people are not accounting for that could cause City problems, because West Ham plays some good football. Let's be honest here. They play some good counter-attacking football, and that's all their job is to do against City come Sunday. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you think about that, but to me, I think that that's probably the game plan that they're going to go with.
All right, so if you have to give a prediction, let's say money's on the line, what would you
1-1?
1-1.
1-1. Arsenal lift the title.
Nah, that would be crazy though. Like in a hypothetical situation, because let's be honest, yes, we all think I think everybody and their mother thinks that City end up winning this league. But if they somehow drop points, that would be insane. I mean, Pep doesn't bottle these leads. I mean, when the title is in his hands in terms of it's his to lose, he don't lose it. He really doesn't. So I don't know. I think City are gonna, they're gonna batter West Ham, bro. I'm thinking 3-1, 4-1, something like that. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes though in terms of who scores first. And I think if City get that first goal, it's over. But I think if West Ham get the first goal, depending on when that happens in the game, like if it's early on, I still think Man City are gonna like batter them. But if they could make it to halftime, would it be a 0-0? You know, now that pressure is turned up a little bit for City. Who knows? But bro, these are some big name players in the squad. I mean, when's the last time Rodri lost a game? Except for
you don't gotta lose this time. You gotta draw.
Yeah, I mean, but this guy has just been. I mean, like that City team is fantastic. I mean, look, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Rodri. I think Ederson's out, but they don't even need Ederson. You saw Scott Carson making that game-saving.
Carson is crazy,
bro. Hey, look, if it wasn't for him, the league would have been over when they played Tottenham. Let's just be honest. But
this guy, please pronounce his name properly. He's not no Scott Carson. Like what?
Oh, Scott Carson's the third goalkeeper. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking about Scott Carson, but yeah, man. Look, I definitely do think they're gonna get battered, West Ham. It's just no way. And I mean, four titles in a row, bro. 4 titles. Is the Premier League a farmers league?
I don't think it is, and for the pure reason that I think we have the best team in all of Europe right now that we're competing against. Like, let's keep it a buck. I mean, like, there's no team that has the consistency that City has displayed over the years, even though they haven't had the Champions Leagues to back it up as far as, like, those wins. But over time, people just know it's City. It's City. Every year, even if they haven't won a Champions League, it's still City as the favorites every single year. So, I don't know. They have a great manager. Pep Guardiola goes everywhere and wins. Okay, they have a great team. And I don't really think that any team in Europe is competing against City as far as, like, the depth and the manager and the money they spend right now. Let's keep it a buck with you.
But then doesn't that make the Prem a farmers league? 4 titles in a row. I mean, come on now. Because when people look at the Bundesliga, or if they look at Italy, or if they look at like some of these other, like, what's it called where PSG played? The French league. People call those farmers leagues, even La Liga.
That's true.
But because it's the Prem, I disagree with you. The Premier League is the most entertaining farmers league in the world. City dominated. And I think that the reason is because since that league has the most money, like the most revenue, and it's shown the most and it's the most popular, people try to make it seem better than what it is. But if we're going to be honest, English teams don't do well in the international competitions, right? You see no English clubs were in the semifinals of the Champions League. No English club was in the semifinals of the Europa League. And then I think
but what about last
Aston Villa got knocked out in the yeah, okay, that's just last year. Now, how many times has an English club won the Champions League in the last 10 years?
Last 10 years?
How many times? Yeah, how many times?
Well, I mean, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. About like what, 3 times?
Like 3, right? Okay.
Like maybe twice with Chelsea, I think. Depending on when Chelsea win. I'm not sure when their first one they won, but
did Chelsea win the Premier League in the 2000s?
About like 4 times. 4 out of 10 is not bad.
I mean, I guess, but like when people bring up just the Prem in general, like I just don't think that people like the connotation that it is just a glorified farmers league. But it's just because all teams, well, not all, but it's like the same 6 to 8 teams that have money to spend, and their squads look good on paper, but we all know how it's gonna end. And that's what City lifting up the trophy. It's the same thing that people say with the Bundesliga at Bayern Munich. At the end of the season, 9 out of 10, well, actually 10 out of 10 times until this season, they're gonna win the league. Like,
but that's different though. That's different though, because like we know we can say that City's titled to lose every single season because they're that great. They set the standard. Like no team has ever done a quadruple ever. So yes, they're that great. But the difference between the Bundesliga, Premier League, Serie A, and La Liga is that we have 3 teams, or we had 3 teams this year fighting for the title consistently. I mean, like, you might have a little race here and there between La Liga, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid, right? Fighting for the title. But more times than not, it's either maybe a 2-horse race that turns into like a 1-horse race by themselves. Usually you see City being pushed by Liverpool in the past. You see Arsenal in the past 2 years. That's why it's not a farmers league, even though City have won the past, 4 years or 3 years, depending on what happens this Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bayern, it's them or Dortmund. Can Dortmund push them? When Dortmund falls off, then it's just Bayern. Before Harry Kane came, obviously. When PSG came, it's just PSG. There's no other team competing against them, right? It's Scotland and it's Rangers in the Scottish League. Like, it's just those 2 teams, the 2-horse team. So I really can't say that it's a farmers league just because of City winning the past 4 years or whatever the case may be.
Wait. Hold on, But then by that same logic,
okay,
it still is a farmers league because up until recently, It was just Man City and Liverpool. So even using the 2-team example that you used, and I get what you're saying in terms of, well, they get pushed by all these other teams. But at the end of the day, nobody cares because all that's going to be remembered is who won it. And when you look back in Premier League history, for a majority of it, it's been a Farmers League. Early on, you got early on, it's Man United dominating with Sir Alex Ferguson. Arsene Wenger comes, shakes it up a little bit. But then now you're seeing another team from Manchester inserting their own dominance. Come on now, like the league.
What about that period? What about that period between that Alex Ferguson's departure up until now? What about the Chelsea and United and City competing it out those years? What about that?
Okay, so I'm not too sure. So okay, let's say when did Sir Alex Ferguson leave? Was that 2013?
I think it was like 2013,
Yeah, because they won the Premier League in 2013, right? And I don't want to misspeak here, so I could actually look. We could pull it up right here. So Premier League winners. Let's just see, because
you pull it up.
Okay. Because ever since City got that first one in 20? Hold on, let's see. List of champions. I got it right here.
City got theirs in 2014, right? Was it 2014?
Okay, so Sir Alex Ferguson. Okay, so United won the 2013 season, right? 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Boom. That was their last one.
Okay.
Then after that, City won in 2013, 2014. Then Chelsea, Leicester, Chelsea, then City, Liverpool, City. So if you want to look.
Yeah. How's that a Farmers League?
It's only been. No, okay, hold on, wait. But I'm saying it's only been. Where is it? 1, 2, 3. It's only been 4 different winners, with City winning a majority of those. Chelsea came second with 2 since Alex Ferguson left.
4 different winners in a span of how long? What, 2014 to 10 years?
10 years.
10 years. So 4 different winners.
10 years. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. 40%.
No, it's not bad. But I'm saying how people try to make the league seem like it's just ultra competitive and that it's anybody's to lose. It's not. It's not. At the end of the day, City are going to win it. But it's because what I will give the Premier League the benefit of the doubt is that it's just more entertaining because you have about 5 or 6 teams that can spend big money that are going to have good squads, but they just can't compete with City. And now Arsenal are trying to do that. And yeah, they're in and around the conversation, but they still have not found a way to get over that hump. So if we're going to be honest, this is a weakened Man City team.
How?
And they still, bro, this is not the best version of Man City that we've seen. They actually got weaker from last season to this one. Last season, they lost Riyad Mahrez. They lost Gundo.
Those are bench players.
But Gundo is the bench. Gundo
not Gundo. Riyad Mahrez was for sure.
What? Bro, Riyad Mahrez, you bring him back to the Prem, he'd start for Arsenal. What are you talking about? Riyad Mahrez is an absolute world-class player.
They were mostly bench players. I mean, except for Gundo, obviously. But like the guys that left were mostly squad players.
But look at who they were. No, wait, hold on, wait. Gundo, Riyad Mahrez,
those
I
give you Gundo.
Squad players. Bro, Riyad Mahrez was not a squad player. Riyad Mahrez is a world-class level winger. He was one of the best since his days at Leicester. He hit the ground running and never looked back. Yes. Oh my God.
You put that word too willy-nilly. He's great.
I don't think that you actually you must be forgetting what Riyad Mahrez was doing.
No,
you have to be forgetting.
He was great. But like you can't be world-class if you're on the bench consistently, or if like you're starting here in and here out.
On the bench consistently.
Well, last year he was.
Bro, what I'm saying is they got worse. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on.
I guess you could say.
They did. Hold on. So I'm trying to get who like they left just because, again, I'm not trying to speak. And then it's like, oh, like I was wrong with what I'm saying. I'm only seeing arrivals. Okay, departures. They lost Cole Palmer. And okay, granted, Cole Palmer, he wasn't playing that much for them. But look at what he's doing at Chelsea right now. I mean, nobody expected that, though, to be fair. Nobody did. They lost Riyad Mahrez, Aymeric Laporte.
Okay. He was steady for them. Did he go out? What the heck? Can you guys still see me? Hold up, brother. me see here. I think his connection went out for the most part. Let me check and see, my man's. Oh, okay, yeah, he did go out. Anyways, so I'm gonna look up their departures really quickly because I want to see for myself what he was talking about. City departures from last season. All right, here we go right here. Okay, so they lost. Okay, I'm seeing arrivals right here. Okay, departures. Here we go. Cole Palmer, Riyad Mahrez. Okay, I told you guys before, Riyad Mahrez he's not world class. Like, okay, he's really good for the most part, but the guy was on the bench, and yeah. It must be a glitch, Deca, for sure. It definitely was, but he'll be back soon. Yeah, the guy was not getting consistent game time last year. All right, Erik Laporte. Yes, I'll give you that. For like 2 seasons, he was probably the best center back in the Premier League. Then again, that's a good signing for them in the past. He's gone now. Calvin Phillips didn't get that much game time. Okay, he's gone now. He's gone to West Ham. Zach Steffen, Claudio, who are these guys? I don't even know who these guys are. Benjamin Mendy, he's gone as well to free transfer. João Cancelo was a crucial part for them for about 2 years. He's gone now. Didn't get consistent game time either, but for the most part, all right. So it's pretty much the same squad as last season. He can say that they're weakened, but they're not that weakened. They still have a formidable squad. Haaland is still there. De Bruyne is still there. They got Kovacic and turned them from what was like an average midfielder that can keep the ball and just keep possession. And he plays well in that City system. Obviously, still got your man Rodri. They all talk about how Rodri has never lost a game when he starts. That's a big stat right there. It's a big stat. And it doesn't really matter who they have on that field. I guess you could say obviously it does, but as long as you have Pep on that team, as far as coaching wise, they always have a chance to overcome and to get a result anywhere they go. So, man, I'm not here with the City have a roster that's weakened from last season. No, it's not. Their main guy last year was Ilkay Gundogan. He's gone now. He's gone to Barcelona, doing his thing over there, whatever the case may be. But it was him and his veteran prowess that was able to get them over the hump last season when they needed to after we stumbled. So I'm not beef for the City have a weakened roster, a weakened team for the most part. No. It's the same team from last year. And because it's the same team from last year, you can expect similar results. What's going on, bro? You're back. I think it must have been a glitch.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I think I was what I leave off of. Yeah, basically, I was saying
I read the list. I read the list for the departures, and it wasn't that. It wasn't like eye standing. It wasn't.
Okay, yeah, but then look at the talent that they brought in. Aside from what's this guy's name? Vardiol. Yeah, Vardiol. Everybody else. Jeremy Doku is mid. What are we talking about?
Okay, his finishing is mid. What? All right, his creation as far as about players is definitely up there. All right, Kovacic made him into a decent midfielder, right, from Chelsea. Okay, so those are their main players in the starting lineup right now. That's what. So you
lose Gundo, who's one of your best players last season. A key piece in you winning the treble, bro. Age doesn't matter. Luka Modric is like 36. Toni Kroos is like 35, and they're still cooking.
How much PT he get?
He plays every game. Toni Kroos starts every game. And they're still cooking. Age does not matter. Like, Gundo is not a player that relies on his pace. He's a very skillful player. He likes to slow the game down. He has a technical ability to still affect games. He was one of their best players last season, and they probably don't win a treble if he's not there. Okay, you lose Gundo, and then you go replace him with Kovacic and then Matheus Nunes. Bums.
That's solid.
Bums.
But it's a solid move, though. It's a downgrade, but it's a solid move.
Okay, and then you lose Riyad Mahrez and then bring in Jeremy Doku.
But Riyad Mahrez wasn't getting game time like that.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that?
I feel like he was on the bench for obviously he was starting here in and here out, but not.
But it's still okay, fine. But even if he is coming off the bench, it's still quality that you have coming off the bench.
Jeremy Doku is quality too.
Jeremy Doku is not quality.
Oh, come on.
Jeremy Doku is just fast. That's all that he is. He can't beat nobody one-on-one. He's kick and run.
He can't beat nobody one-on-one.
If he's not kicking the ball far and then running after it, no, he's not really beating anybody one-on-one. He doesn't have tech. He doesn't really link play like that. Yes, he's dangerous because he's fast, and usually he gets subbed on, and teams are tired. But if he's going against a low block, Jeremy Doku doesn't perform. The only times that you really see him ever cook is when he's playing like Luton Town and the teams that are down there. Come on, let's be honest here. Jeremy Doku's not that good.
Honest. I am being honest here. Come on now.
Oh my goodness, bro. I'm not rating Jeremy Doku.
You really?
I'm not rating Doku. No.
Oh, wow.
Hold on. So last season,
we could say that his stats is not the best when it comes to finishing. I'll give you that. He is a poor finisher, but he definitely is a chance creator as far as what he does. He can run at
brother. Forget the stats. What does your eyes tell you?
What? Doku?
Yes. Like, what does your eye test tell you about this player?
What I just told you. He can create. He can create and cause problems. Like when it comes down to him on the right or left, wherever he plays. I think he plays on the left for the most part. Okay. Him on the left, like you have to double him up because one-on-one defending. Yes, you kind of do.
Oh my god.
Kind of do. I'm about to look at. Hold on. I'm about to look at Riyad Mahrez games from last season to show you how many times he played.
Yeah, so Riyad Mahrez last season played 47 games, scored 15 goals, and I'm not seeing his assist, but
he started 22 games.
Okay, so he started a majority of their games, and I'm pretty sure that every player faces a little bit of injuries every season, but Riyad Mahrez is a good player, and the fact that you lose him, he was world class, and you lose him, you lose Gundo, and then you got to replace those two guys with Matheus Nunes, Kovacic, and Doku. You've gotten worse. Yes, I'm going to stick by that. They've gotten worse. So this is not the strongest team that we've seen City have. And this is why they didn't run away with the league this season. And they still managed to win it. So all of this to say, the Premier League is a glorified farmers league. And this summer, I think City will do some business. And then guess what's going to happen next season? They'll win it again. But look, we've already spent a lot of time talking about City. So I do want to move over to Arsenal because while it's not over and there still is a chance, I'd say they got a 5% chance of winning this league. Like that's how low I think
5% chance?
5% chance. Yes, they would need a miracle from God. They would need God to get in West Ham's defense himself for them to have a chance to beat Man City at the Etihad with the title on the line. Bro, City do not come on, bro. Like, you know this.
They don't have to lose, though.
They don't have to lose, but what are the odds of West Ham taking anything from them? Points? Like, what are you talking about? All right.
Not a big odds right there.
Yeah, so like I said, I do want to switch gears to Arsenal, and you guys do have a game against Everton, and that has to be at the Emirates, so that definitely is a must win, but how are you feeling about that?
I mean, like, I think Everton are in good form right now, so, like, it's not going to be an easier game than it would be. We can't just run up the score on them, but I think that we definitely should win that game for the most part. It's the last game of the season. We are playing desperate. We have to before we move to the City West Ham result, we got to win our game first. If we don't win our game, it don't even matter at this point, right? So win that game first. And it's unfortunate that all the games are being played at the same time, because if they weren't, imagine we played first, we get our dub, now we're all just watching to see the result. That would be something that I'll look forward to doing, but it is what it is, though. Listen, man, I think that we're going to win probably comfortably, like around 3-1, 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
Okay, so you think it'd be like a 1 or 2-0 kind of game, not like complete domination, like 4.
No, I just said 3-1 or 3-0.
Okay. All right. I mean, I agree. I think Arsenal are gonna win. And I think that this has to be a game where you can't really worry about what's happening at the Etihad, right? Like, you guys worry about what you're doing, and then just pray to God that at the end of the full time you get some really great news, even though the crowd that's going to be at the Emirates, they're going to let you know how that game's going, because they'll start cheering randomly. Like, if West Ham score a goal, they'll start cheering randomly. Nothing even going on. So, I mean, look, it's one of those situations where, as an Arsenal fan, it has to suck, because you've had a really good season, but to then walk away from it showing nothing. Like there's nothing to show for this season. Like that does have to suck. And I do think, and we've had this talk a lot of times, but I think Arteta, he does deserve another year. I don't think I would sack him this season. But
really, why the change of heart?
Huh?
Why the change of heart?
And just because, to me, I think next year just has to be it. Like, so I think I'd be willing to give him one more year, but he has to win next season. Now, everybody really makes it seem it doesn't. Either the FA Cup, Carabao. Sorry, not Carabao Cup. I don't think. Actually, Carabao it is a major trophy. He has to win something. But like, let's just start there.
The FA Cup, the Premier League, or the Champions League. Those three. I don't know. Those three.
Carabao Cup too. Don't just throw that competition out. You need something because
no. Like, I think you feel more better about him staying if he wins a bigger trophy than it is for the Carabao Cup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, that's fair. But let's say if you guys would have won the Carabao this year and came second, it's like all right, but at least we have a trophy. Like, at least there's something that we have to show for this season, right? Like, it's better than nothing. So I don't necessarily think you could just dismiss that cup so much, because if Arteta maybe would have won a few of those along the way, then there wouldn't be as much pressure. Yeah, people would be like, okay, it's time to win the league. But at least we're getting something to show for whatever we've accomplished this season. And I don't like how people have this narrative of, well, he's going against Pep. He's going against Man City. How can you expect him to win? My thing is, he's only playing Pep twice. All you got to do is take care of your own business. And if Arsenal would have not dropped points to Fulham, not lost to Aston Villa, you guys would have won the league this season. Pep wasn't out there. Pep isn't in the Europa League when Arteta was getting knocked out. He didn't have to go against Man City in the Champions League this season. So it's like the excuses that people want to give him, to me, they're not valid. And you already know, I don't even believe that Arteta should have gotten this job in the first place. Like this Arsenal Football Club. This is a guy that never managed before. Like, why this is his first job? This is Arteta's first job.
But when you first came, you were happy about us having a young manager who's hungry that can change the system of the club. I remember you vividly saying that before.
No, I said no. Hold on, wait. But who did I say that Arsenal should go get? When the rumor first came out, I said go get Pochettino. I never said to get Arteta.
You're right.
But I wasn't mad at Arsenal. No, yeah. So I wasn't mad with it, but I was saying it doesn't really make any sense to me because, yes, he's learned underneath Pep. But at the same time, he's not a proven manager. So why, as Arsenal, the third biggest club in England, are you going to go hire a manager that's not proven? Because now you have to hear the bullshit excuses of, oh, it's his first job. Give him time. Bro, you shouldn't be getting time at Arsenal. At Arsenal, it should be about winning. Giving time is if you manage Everton, if you want to manage Wolves, West Ham, Luton Town, Brentford. It's like teams like that. Yeah, you get all the time that you want because nobody cares. But if you're at Arsenal, you should it should never be your first job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But how do you build an organization that's built to win and sustain that? I mean, like, if we would have got Poch, right, and we would have had like maybe one season of greatness, and then we fall off the cliff. But
why do you assume it only be one season of greatness? Why do you only assume that?
Because we were in a mess. We were in a mess. Goodness. And you said yourself that Arsenal, if we're going by your logic and saying that, okay, we have to keep on sacking managers, not verbatim, obviously, but like we have to keep on finding the right manager so that we can continue to win, a manager that has experience and success in the past, then like, how would we clean up the mess that was in the club beforehand? The foundation that was built beforehand, how would we get rid of that so we can actually start winning and sustain that win? I mean, Arteta.
So no other manager could have done that. No other manager could have done that. So Arteta is the only manager.
If you bring in a big manager,
that right now.
No, I'm not saying okay, but I'm saying right. Him coming in and him being a novice type of manager was the reason why we backed him and gave him so much time. I'm not certain that we would have given a Poch, a Tuchel more time if they would have struggled and they didn't win anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different because they're big.
Yeah, so then guess what you do if they don't win anything? You sack them.
And then bring in somebody else. And then how do we keep on building? Do you want us to be a Man United / Chelsea or Tottenham?
Well, if you could look, okay, I'll ask you.
Okay.
If you look at Chelsea's last 10 years versus Arsenal's last 10 years, whose last 10 years would you rather have?
Whose last? Oh, I would have theirs because they won Champions League.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, would you take that knowing where you'd end up this season. Let's say 6th place, but you've seen 2 Champions League, you've seen 2 Premier Leagues. Whose situation do you think is a little bit better?
Chelsea, for sure.
Oh, okay. So why would you just use them as who'd you rather be? Of course, if you're an Arsenal fan, yeah, since Roman Abramovich came into that club, yeah, you'd want Chelsea because Roman has done more in terms of recently, and I know he's not there anymore, but when he first came in, so when he had to sell after the whole war that was going on,
okay,
what Chelsea have accomplished is things that Arsenal haven't done. So, yes, sacking managers work. You don't need to have one guy there for 5-10 years. Bro, the 3 most successful clubs since this century, since 2000 started: Bayern, Chelsea, Real Madrid. What do they all do? If you don't win, you get sacked, right? All this progress talk is nonsense.
What is City's excuse then? I mean, they have Pep Guardiola. He's a great manager, right?
Or what? Okay, go ahead.
I'm asking you a question.
No, I don't get it. By Pep.
Yeah, because he's a great manager, right?
Okay, yeah. Pep didn't win it his first season. And then what's he done since then?
Pep?
Idiotic question. What are you talking about?
He didn't win. Okay, but I'm saying, right? You have to have stability within your club. Chelsea were not in the mud the same way we were in the past. Now they're in the mud. Okay, they're in the mud.
They're not in the mud. They're not.
They are.
But we'll talk about Chelsea later. But
okay, but now it's our time to rise, right? We have to date the most wins ever for an Arsenal season, and it all might not even matter because we're facing Pep Guardiola. Now I'm not making that as an excuse for the moment, right? But I'm just saying that that's all because we gave Mikel Arteta time to build a squad, and he has proven that he's able to make us a consistent winner in the Premier League. You are where you are in the league right now, and we've been one of the best in the league.
But he has nothing to show for it, brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So all that means nothing. All this literally means nothing. There's no FA. Well, there's that one FA Cup with that terrible squad that everybody likes to talk about. But if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for Aubameyang and those guys, he'd have no trophies. He'd have none. So
yeah, but why are we putting it on the players? Why are we not giving him credit about how he was able to manage that terrible squad as opposed to that terrible squad carrying him to his first win? Why are we not giving him some credit too with that?
Well, because who has to go out there and play against other players?
Yeah, but
for me, the players always get the most credit because it doesn't matter what tactics you put out there. If they're not good enough or if they just mess up, then you're not going to win. So yes, I do agree that the tactics matter, and I'm not taking that FA Cup away from Arteta. I'm not taking it away from him because I think that was very good for him to win it. And it's half of his because he came in November Arsenal, and he won that in May, June, whatever it was. So yeah, in his first 6-7 months in the job, he won a trophy. And then since then, after he's cleared out all that deadwood, after he spent almost 700 million, after he's brought in his own players, every single player here is his. This is his squad. He's either brought them in or gave them contract extensions.
Okay.
And what does he have to show for it? So that's why I don't like when people try to shit on that old team that he had, because without them, Arteta's time here would be even more of a failure. So come on now.
I mean, I really don't see it the way you see it right now. I think that you're right. As a manager who's managing Arsenal Football Club, he has to have some pressure on him to win something. As far as an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, or the league. I get that. But I don't like the whole system of sacking managers to try and win now. I really don't. I think that right now with Chelsea in the past, it's been you win now, next season you might not be in it. I don't know. You win now, next season you might not be in it. I want to be in it every season. I want my team to be good every season so that I know I have a chance to win something every season. And so far, what Arteta is doing right now is making us that good to compete every season for a league title, for Champions League in the future, for next season. And, when things get better, when the squad gets more depthy, then you have, that's not even a word, but you have more squad to use for FA Cups and Carabao Cups. I want to be...
Okay, so then why didn't Unai Emery get this much time? He's a much better manager than Arteta. Oh, he only was in a job for one full season.
And we didn't know what type of tactics he was playing.
Hold on, wait a minute. Arteta takes over when you guys are what? Unai Emery was sacked. Where was Arsenal in the league? Point is,
we were like 10th.
No, it was not that damn low when Unai Emery was sacked, brother.
It was like around the table.
It was like 8th. Oh, okay.
Fine. Okay, it's around 8th. It's around 8th.
Okay. Whatever. Arteta comes in 8th, 5th, 2nd, and 2nd. Why didn't Unai Emery get back this much? Why didn't Unai Emery get more time? Why didn't Unai Emery get $600 million to spend?
Because
this is a manager. This is a manager that everywhere he's been so far, he's won. Do you know that Arsenal are the only team that he's lost a European final with? This guy's a proven manager. Look at what he's done with Aston Villa. Have them right up there. Look at what. Hold on, wait a minute. He also went to Villarreal, won a Europa League.
Wait.
Knocked out. Hold on, wait a minute. Knocked out Arteta. Knocked out Arsenal. Comes to England, gets the Aston Villa job, and then does what? Skips on Arsenal every chance he gets. And how poetic is it that the manager that you guys sacked, that you guys ridiculed, is the same one that's ended your season?
He deserved to be sacked. He deserved to be sacked because at one point
Arteta did it?
What?
So Arteta did it?
No.
Oh my goodness me.
The difference between
Emery
and the difference between Arteta was that we saw a style of play. All right. There were times where Unai Emery was playing Torreira up front, where his position was a freaking CDM. I mean, like,
what are you talking about? The style of play. Yo, when Arteta first came, for like the first 2 seasons, he was on a counterattack thing. What are you talking about? Arsenal weren't playing really. Arsenal weren't really playing free-flowing football until like last season. Like, let's be honest. It's taken this man 3.5 years to finally install. Bro, first off, that's how you win the FA Cup. Right? Like, come on, let's call it what it is, right? You beat what is it? Chelsea. You also beat Man City. Yeah, you counterattack those teams.
By counterattacking.
Oh my goodness.
We did not.
We did not.
Maybe because they stayed the course, but like we did not beat Chelsea by counterattacking in the final.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
And 2, Unai Emery had multiple bad results.
And Arteta did it?
But the difference is we decided to give him time to grow.
All right. So next question.
We wanted a different type of foundation built because we saw Unai Emery wasn't working. All right.
That's not true.
That's not true. What do you mean?
That's not true. That's not true. Okay. So the reason that I'm saying that that's not true is because if you look at with Unai Emery, right? This is a proven manager, track record of success. Sevilla, PSG, came to Arsenal. The reason that he was sacked was because he was the guy that replaced Arsene Wenger. So you guys already know when you have a legendary manager at your club, the guy that usually fails, the guy that usually comes in after him fails because everybody wants to do what Arsene Wenger did, right? Everybody thinks that you should be playing this way. So he didn't get as much time, bro. It's usually the case. Like whenever a legendary manager leaves the club, the guy directly after him usually does not make it. That's generally how it goes. Why do you think Man United are still trying to find somebody that could be successful since Sir Alex Ferguson left? It's hard. And I think the fans just weren't as patient with Emery because he was the guy right after the main guy. And I think that's why everybody has given Arteta so much time. But I think if Arteta was hired directly after Arsene Wenger, he wouldn't still be here right now. There's no way. There's no way. It's true.
That's not true. I think that with Emery, right, his style of play, his first year was working up until a point, right? We got to the final. We were in contention for top 4. It was working. But like then you saw the next season, it was a complete opposite. It dipped in performance from like where we were trying to compete for top 4. Now we're fighting out of relegation zone. Like it was
he was sacked in the first half of the season. You don't know what would have happened if he would have stayed.
And we were playing terrible in the Europa League. We were playing terrible in the league.
Yeah, and you've been playing so well in the Europa League since Arteta's come in. Like, what are we talking about?
What do you mean? We've been making it to the semifinals. That's consistent winning.
And then who'd you get knocked out to? Villarreal?
But
who'd you lose to before that? By the way, who'd you lose to before that? Sporting?
But you're making it seem like we're getting left out the group. We're not making it past the group.
It doesn't matter. You didn't win it. It doesn't matter.
Neither did he. And neither Emery.
Hold on, wait. So in the Europa League, Emery did not get out the group. Are you sure about that?
He didn't win.
Oh, I was about to say because he made a final. Like, what? I'm gonna say he made the final. His 1 year at Arsenal, and then he lost to just a better Chelsea team. Like, it is what it is. But point is, if Unai Emery was given the backing that Arteta's gotten, if he's been able to spend as much as Arteta has, I think Arsenal would have won more than just one FA Cup. Now, I'm not going to say what they would have won because I can't tell you that. I don't know if it had been a Prem, if it had been maybe 2 FA Cups, a Carabao Cup, a Champions League. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that Unai Emery is a manager that has a proven track record of success. And he just was unfairly sacked without really getting time to, because what can you do in one season? Let's be honest. What was that? One transfer window that Unai Emery had then?
But I don't understand. Like, why does him having a proven track record of success warrant him staying in the job if he's not doing well at that current time?
Well, because if that squad was so shit, right? Because remember, he inherited most of those players from Wenger. That wasn't really his team when he was sacked. That wasn't really his team. Yeah, he brought in a few names, but a majority of that squad that he was depending on was there when he came in. So what I'm saying is, if a manager has a track record of success, it would make more sense to back him because he's proven that if he's probably given the tools that he needs and the players that he thinks fit his system, he can do some things here. So that's all that I'm trying to say, bro. And then on top of that, Arsenal's main players, or not all of them, but the guys that you rate are from him. Saka from Unai Emery, Saliba from Unai Emery. And mind you, Arteta didn't even want Saliba at first. He sent him on loan twice. He took that number 4 off of him and gave it to Ben White, who was shit at the time. Don't try to rewrite history. Ben White was so mid at center back. Now they moved him to right back, and now he's a completely different player. I'll give him that. He looks like something different. But at the center back, Ben White wasn't all that. Why do you think he had to bring Saliba back, took his spot? Ben White was sitting on the bench until they moved him at right back because he wasn't good enough. He wasn't better than Saliba. He wasn't better than Gabriel Magalhaes. You also rate who's that guy? Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't even bring up Martinelli because he's kind of fallen off this season. But that was another player that people were relying on. So what I'm saying is that if Unai Emery was given the time, if he was given the money, I think that he would do a lot better than what Arteta has so far. That's all that I'm saying.
I mean, that's debatable for me, but like I think that Arteta is doing a good job so far. I mean, I don't know if Unai Emery would have had the most wins in Arsenal season. I really don't know that. I really don't. Even if he has a proven track record, even
but who cares about that?
Well, that's what helps you win leagues. What do you mean?
And you're not going to win it. So exactly.
Yeah, it's putting us in the position to compete to win it is what I'm saying. I don't know if Unai Emery gets us to that point to compete for a league the way that Arteta has. I don't know.
Okay, stop focusing on the league.
But I know what I see from Arteta right now, though.
All right, so just stop looking at the league. Stop looking at the league. What about the other competitions? What's the excuse there? There's no City in the Europa, right? He gets knocked out the FA Cups, the Carabao Cups. I don't think they've gotten knocked out by City in any of those competitions. So, like, what's the excuse for Arteta in other?
Knocked out last year. What you mean?
By who? By City?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not remembering that. But aside from last year and all the other cup competitions, like how many trophies has he been able to compete for and you got away with nothing? So what's the excuse? Because everybody wants to focus on the league, but the league is not the only trophy that's up for grabs.
I know that. I'm not saying that there is an excuse to be played in. I'm just saying that you are where your position is in the table. And by where we are, I'm just saying that we are a good team. I'm not sure if Unai Emery would have made us that good team depending on how much time he was given. I don't know that. But what I do know is that Arteta has. That's fact.
Yeah. But Arteta also was given time, something that Unai Emery was not. Because if Arteta was sacked, because if Arteta was sacked after a season and a half, you would have been saying the same thing about Unai Emery that you're saying about Arteta. Yeah, it didn't look that good, and he wasn't the right man for the job. But because he was
but time, I see why we did it though.
Okay, so you think that it makes sense to back an unproven Arteta over a proven Unai Emery?
No, that makes more sense. I'm saying right after. I'm not saying that it makes sense to back either one. I'm saying right that the style of sacking managers is not what I want to see us do to grow as a club. And what we did for Arteta, I'm fine with because we gave him time and resources to make sure that he builds a squad that is consistently winning. So I will take that over the idea of sacking him if he wasn't doing well, or just the idea of what you're trying to say that if Unai Emery was given more time, he would have had the same results. We don't know that either. But I like the idea of just backing the manager, even if he was unproven or not.
Okay. All right. Well, we will see. And I definitely do expect you to keep the same energy next season if you guys don't win anything again. I definitely think that, because you said before, if he doesn't win a trophy next season, he has to go.
Well, yeah, I would keep the same energy, because I also do believe that, listen, he's done a good job of making us a good team. Now it might take another manager to take us to the next level. That's fine. That's all cool. You know what I'm saying? But he's made us consistently good.
All right. So then what do Arsenal need next season to get over the line? Go ahead.
Need a striker, need a backup winger for Saka to give him some like real comp. I think that we're looking at Michael Olise. He's tough. I would take him in the heartbeat right now. I would take him. I'll take Alexander Isak. And I think that we need a CDM and we'll be set. Those three things. A CDM to replace Partey so that we can let Declan Rice get up forward. A winger to give Saka some comp. And then a striker that's proven. That's fine.
Okay, so there's no place in that team for Kai Havertz then next season in your starting 11.
There is a place. He'll come in. He'll start some games.
Coming off the bench.
I mean, listen, you've seen Leandro Trossard this season. He's come off the bench and looked really good. So I don't mind having some quality come off the bench either.
So then how do you view that Kai Havertz signing, like looking back at it?
It was a success. Because we were better than we were last year.
Okay. Yeah, brother. I don't know about Kai Havertz being a success.
We were better than we were last year.
And again, it's amounted to nothing. But I think that he's played well, and I think he looks good as a striker. But if you're now telling me, right, because let's not forget that you guys gave Chelsea over 60 million to sign him. He's, I think, the second or the highest paid player at the club. But now when I ask you, so what do you need heading into next season? You're telling me the positions that he's supposed to be occupying. So then how could that signing be viewed as successful when it's cost you so much? Now you're going to have one of the highest paid players in your squad being a rotational player, and then that could cause some distress in the locker room. Because if you're Saka, if you're Martin Odegaard, if you're Saliba or Gabriel Magalhaes, and a guy that's coming off the bench is getting paid more than you, I don't think that they'd be happy with that.
Yeah, but Martin Odegaard signed his contract already, though. That's his. He
got his money, but why should I be getting less than what the guy off the bench?
Nature of the game. Like you can't.
That's not the nature of the game. No, it's not.
That is. That is.
You don't sign rotational players to more money. You don't sign rotational players to more money than what the stars are getting. That's why you always hear about the wage traders. But that,
he didn't come in to be a rotational. He came in to be a starter, which he was this season.
Yeah.
You're making it seem like we signed him to be a bench player. That's not what happened. He came in and started most of the games. He got us a lot of goals as a starter, as a striker. He did his job. Now, if we decide to get someone that can fit a better profile, because, again, like you need some depth. I don't know if we're going to keep Gabriel Jesus past this season. I would sell him, to be honest with you, and get another striker in and keep him in Havertz. But, like, you need some guys that can come in and do a job. You think people are complaining about Julian Alvarez on the bench? No.
But Julian Alvarez didn't cost 60 million, and he's not one of the city's highest paid players. So that's what I'm saying. So that dynamic to it, I think, is what would make that a bad signing, because he's gonna be so because like you're basically paying for a start. So okay, you paid a starter transfer fee, a star player's wage, and he's not going to be either next season if you guys do what you're supposed to do in the summer. Now, if you tell me, no, Kai Havertz is the striker that we need to be up front for us, and he should be starting next season, we don't need a striker, we don't need a striker to go over him, then I would agree. Okay, fine. This is a good signing then if he's going to be your striker. But the fact that he comes off the bench and he costs so much and he's getting paid that much money, I can definitely see that being an issue in the locker room, for sure.
I mean, it could be based off of what you're saying. I don't think it will be. And I also do think that if you want to be a good team, you have to have different styles of play. Kai Havertz will offer us a different style of play than another striker would. And I'll be fine with that. I would be cool, because for the longest you were saying Eddie and Nketiah couldn't head balls into the back of the net. Now we have a striker who can do that. So.
All right, cool. Yo, Rajat, shout out to you, bro. We're definitely going to talk about Man United in a little bit. But last thing that I do want to say about Arsenal before we move on is, another thing that you risk without winning trophies is these players leaving, right? There's no guarantee that Saka is just going to be okay with finishing second and not winning trophies and just signing new deals at Arsenal. There's no guarantee that Saliba or, let's say, Martinelli or Gabriel Magalhaes or Declan Rice, there's no guarantee that all these guys are going to just be okay with not winning every single year. So I think the pressure definitely has to be on for Arteta, because not only would you risk possibly losing some of your bigger name players, you also run the risk of the mentality slipping, which it kind of already has at Arsenal, because fans are just making excuses for the lack of results or for the lack of silverware that we've seen. So look, like Saliba, for example, he's already being linked with the move to Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich. And, these guys are going to go play in the Euros this summer, right? Saka's going to be, playing with Kyle Walker, Phil Foden, like all these ballers who are at Man City winning the league. Saliba's going to go play with the French national team. He's going to be talking to Ferland Mendy, Camavinga, Tchouameni, like maybe Mbappe if he joins Real Madrid. Like, these players, their peers, they're going to see them succeeding. They're going to see them playing at the highest level, winning trophies, but then they're just going to stay at Arsenal and not do anything. And I think people don't seem to really think about that aspect of it in terms of these players have ambitions as well. They want to play on the biggest stage. They want to be winning the biggest honors. And so far at Arsenal, you guys are getting there, but at what point are these players going to say, yeah, you know what? Like, I've been here 3 seasons. It's just not going to happen. Maybe let me go somewhere else. So I think that you got to consider that as well, bro.
You have to consider that, but here's my rebuttal to that, right? Mm-hmm. One, the game time will be different from wherever they go, deciding, because they're good players. So they're going to be linked to big clubs always. It doesn't matter who it is, because they're good players. All the players you just named are good players. So they're going to be linked to great clubs. That's one. Mm-hmm. But two, they're not guaranteed the same amount of game time as they would be at Arsenal. That's one. I'm sure they want to play because they have that mentality. They have that hunger to play games, right? And three, like, these are young guys. I mean, it's not like they're at the end of their seasons or careers where they're struggling to win and they want to win. They have a desire to win right now. They probably do right now regardless, because they do have that mentality. But I'm saying that they're still young. They still are a part of a process that could still take over within the next now to 2 years.
But young how? Like young how? Saka, this is like his 6th or 5th professional season. Saliba's been playing professionally for a long time. All these players here. Yeah, okay, age-wise, but one, you already know that your career does not last that long in terms of you being at the top, right? So even though these guys are like 23 to 24 years old,
but there's no guarantee that by the time that before about Luka Modric and Toni Kroos still balling at 38.
Okay, yes. And how many Toni Kroos and Luka Modric are walking around? So do you want to use the exceptions for the rule now?
No, what about Gundogan?
Okay, you name me 3 players. Okay, go ahead. And mind you, hold on, wait a minute. And mind you, you're naming. Hold on, wait a minute. And mind you, you're naming me great players. By the way, there's no guarantee that Saka. Hold on, wait. No, okay. One, they're not great. They're not proven. So let's stop that talk right now. Saka is not a great player. He's a good player. He's not great. And there's there's no guarantee.
Why would a bum be linked to good teams? I don't understand.
No. You said great. I didn't say Saka was a bum. I said he's a good player. He's good. Saka's a good player. He's not world class. He's not great. He's a good player. And right now, this season, yeah, he probably matched his stats wise. It looks good. But if you watch the game, Saka's not really looking impressive. And maybe that's because that's down to him not having any competition. So he knows week in, week out, doesn't matter how he plays, he's going to get in and start. Fine. But what I'm saying is there's no guarantee that Saka 3 years from now is going to still be at the same level. The guy's always injured now. He's not getting any rest. His body could break down.
Always injured.
Come on, man. This guy gets up. He's limping on. This guy's limping every game.
He plays every game.
Yeah, because our players forcing him. He's not resting. What I'm saying is there's no guarantee. I'm saying there's no guarantee that these players are still going to be able to play at a high level 3-4 years from now. So I think for you to expect them to just think, oh yeah, maybe this process we'd win in 2 years, 3 years. That's idiotic. They're focusing on now. You're only one bad tackle away from it being over. These players not going to sit around and just wait. And hopefully what Arteta's has us doing is going to work. How much longer can you reject Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, DC? It's going to be hard. This same core of players might not be here in 2 years.
Injuries happen. I'll say one last thing. Injuries happen everywhere. So it doesn't matter where they play. The biggest thing for me is, are you playing on a team that is giving you a chance to win a title or a trophy, whatever? As long as you're doing that, then I think you have a chance and you should be fine with where you're at. Now, if you want to go to the bigger stage of the club,
what kind of loser mentality is that? I should be fine. I could be fine because even though I'm not winning anything, at least I'm coming second.
I didn't know. You worded it different.
Let me say.
You
at
worded
least
it
I'm
different.
coming second.
You worded it different, okay? That's not what I said. I said, as long as you're on a team that can consistently win or give you a chance to win, because if you go to Real Madrid, PSG, it's the same thing. You might have a higher chance because they're a better team as far as like where they play in the league, but it's the same thing. They give you a chance to win consistently. So I'm saying if you're on a team, it shouldn't really matter where you play, unless you're on a bum team like Real Madrid.
Okay. All right, brother. All right. You know what? That's enough Arsenal talk, though, because then we'll be here for like the next 4 hours just going at it, bro. Yo, I actually do want to talk about Liverpool, though, right? This is going to be Klopp's last game with them, and they've already confirmed that Arne Slot's going to be their next manager. And we know that they're going to finish third, right? There's no risk of them dropping to fourth or nothing, and they actually kind of bottled this league. But what do you think about Liverpool's future? And, I mean, how do you even rate Klopp's time at the club?
I think Klopp's time was a success. Let's keep it a buck. I mean, he won a Champions League. He won the league. I think that, where his team was consistently in the Premier League is an indication of how great of a manager he was. And, the team was great. They had great players as well, too. We get all of that. But ultimately, though, like you always mentioned before, Klopp has elevated the play of these players consistently over a time period. And they have been able to compete at the highest level every single season, except for last year, I guess you could say. But I would be fine with giving him he did a good job type of spiel as a Liverpool fan for the most part. Did a good job. I don't mind him leaving because I think that his time is he can still coach for a longer time. But if they want to go a new direction, then that's fine too. Same thing I'm going to say right now is the same thing I said for Arteta. Give the new manager some time. They're going to like a rebuilding process because they have a lot of old players, even though they will have Champions League. But give the manager some time, even if he doesn't find a way to still consistently win the same way that Klopp was in the past. That's fine, because you don't want to end up in a situation like you are in with Chelsea and United, where you're trying to find the right manager, you have a good squad, inconsistent performances. I don't want to see none of that. But this team have a chance to still be at the top if they give the new manager some more time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Klopp's time at Liverpool, I would classify it as a success because of all the trophies that he's won, right? He's won everything. He's won a Premier League, Champions League, Carabao. I don't think he won a Carabao Cup. Yeah, he won a Carabao Cup this season. FA Cup, Club World Cup. I don't know if he won the Super Cup, but I'm pretty sure that they most likely did. But I'd have to say he's not one of the best managers that the Premier League has ever seen. Like, people try to put him in that conversation. So looking at it from like a domestic POV, that his time at Liverpool was not a success. But accounting for all the competitions that they were in, not just the one Prem, I think, fair enough. I think Klopp has worked miracles at Liverpool, because where they were compared to where they are now, it's like night and day. These guys were sitting, around 7th or 8th in the table. And yeah, they had a few good ballers like Coutinho, Danny Sturridge. And yeah, like they had quality in that side a little bit, but it wasn't that good. And I think Liverpool are in for a very, 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 very bumpy ride. I do not think the next manager is going to succeed. I'll give you the same logic as I said after we talked about Unai Emery. Arne Slot coming in, having to replace Jürgen Klopp, is going to be damn near an impossible job for him to do, because all the fans are used to what Klopp has given them. They're used to a certain style of play, and everything that he does is going to get compared to Klopp. If he's not winning trophies, they're going to not give him that much patience, because these fans, they're going to be upset with Klopp leaving. So I think Liverpool are cooked. I think this manager is going to probably be in a job for maybe 1.5 to 2 seasons, and then we'll see what happens with the next guy. But I always view it like you never want to be the guy that comes in after the guy. It's like if you meet a girl, bro, come on now. You don't want to be the guy exactly or directly after her boyfriend. They just got like a 9. Yo, Klopp was there for 9 years. The girls were her man for 9 years. And now they break up, and 2 weeks later, she started dating you. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy after that guy. And I think with the ownership that they have, FSG are terrible. They don't spend the money, and they barely back Klopp. What makes you think that they're going to go out there and back this new guy? Because Liverpool could have won more if those managers would have opened up their if those owners would have opened up their pocketbooks for him to possibly buy some players. But ultimately, before you go, I am going to give him, success for what he's done at Liverpool, but I think his time there could have been much better. And I do think he was a puppet for FSG, always coming out, making excuses on why they're not signing players, never calling out the team for not giving him the players that he needs. And I think the players that he bought, he's made them all world-class. Every single one of them. Trent Alexander-Arnold from the academy is considered world-class. I think Andy Robertson was from Hull City for $8 million, world-class. Mo Salah, 35 M's from Roma, was a flop at Chelsea, world-class. Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, all these guys that he was able to elevate how they were able to play, it has to be considered a success. But I just think he could have done so much more. When it's all said and done, he's going to be remembered as the bridesmaid, right? He's going to be remembered as the guy that couldn't really get it over the line when it comes to going against Pep. But at least he's won one. So,
I think that, I don't know. The reason why I think the new manager will come in and have time is because what you just said, right? They don't spend money. So they can't be expecting big results from the guy anyway at this point. So they can't really sack him. Theoretically speaking, they can. But they wouldn't sack him 1-2 seasons in if he still has a chance to make this team okay with the play style and whatnot, but they're not winning anything. That's why I see him having more time.
Okay. So you think Slot is going to be a good manager?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to see what he does with this because he still has some big name players on the team. So if he's still able to be a consistent threat in top 4, then yes, I think he will be a good manager based off of what he has, at least for the most part. And I think that the style of play has to be a big thing too. But he will have time because they don't spend money anyway, so they can't expect big name results to happen within the first 1-2 seasons.
No, that's fair. But I just think once results aren't going their way, I think that the fans are going to be on him. And I don't think that he's going to be given as much time as maybe he should. And I also think a few of their big name players are going to leave this summer. It's not going to just be Klopp. I think the era is over, bro. You had your nice little 10 years or whatever, 9-year run. And now it's done, bro. It's done. It's done. I think Liverpool are going to go back to being anywhere from 5th to 7th, maybe even 4th occasionally. Maybe they might get a nice little cup run where they might win another Carabao, maybe a FA, but I don't see them winning the Premier League anytime soon. I don't see them being a legit threat in the Champions League, even though we know that cup competitions is about luck sometimes. Yeah, sure. But I just don't think that he's going to be that successful with them. And I think Salah is going to leave. I know there's reports saying that they expect him to stay. Yeah, but that's easy to say until Saudi comes in, offers him $100 million a year, and then offers Liverpool $150 million to sell him. Mind you, he only has 1 year left on his current contract. They'd be idiots to not sell Salah, who's also starting to fall off. I think Luis Diaz, being with the move to Barcelona, PSG, I think he might leave. Trent Alexander-Arnold only has 1 year left on his contract. What's going on there? How come he hasn't signed a new deal? If Liverpool don't sell him this summer, and if he doesn't extend that deal, he leaves for free next season. So he may leave. I think Van Dijk is gone. I think Andy Robertson might go as well. And they'll still have some good pieces in that squad, but they have to back this manager. And if they don't, which honestly they maybe won't do it, given the history that I've seen before, he's not going to last long. Liverpool are in trouble. Dark times are ahead. They are cooked.
So what you're saying is Liverpool are cooked, Pep will leave in the next 2 years, and the league will belong to Arsenal?
Nah, it'd still be City's league to lose. I don't think it matters which manager comes in for Pep, because the way that club is run, it actually doesn't. Because the way that club is run, the way that their owners are ambitious, I don't think people really realize how great Man City are, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. They have arguably the best academy in England. They sell a bunch. And everybody wants to talk about the money that they spend, but nobody ever talks about what they've sold, how much they make on profits as well. They sell their players, and then they also bring in new ones. And I think it doesn't matter who that manager is, the board and that owner is still going to be ambitious. They're still going to spend the money, and they're still going to have a very good team. Now, I don't think that they're going to dominate like what they've done underneath Pep, but I still think that they'd be considered the favorites just because of their owners. They don't mess around.
I don't know about the favorites. It would depend on who the next manager is. For the most part.
I guess, but it's still going to probably be around the same players. No, not the same exact players. Yeah, but the team's going to be full of world-class ballers as well. So, and I don't think that Arteta's going to be here by the time that Pep leaves. So,
all right, what we got next? I mean, speaking of managers, we talking about Man United, right?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. We can talk about Man United.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly. What do you think? Because we made this is funny. We talked about last time we were on here about not Sir Alex Ferguson, does Erik ten Hag still have a chance to still be the manager for next season? And you was like, it depends on if they get slapped up against Crystal Palace, and they got slapped up against Crystal Palace. So now I'm gonna
so what I said was I thought he was gonna get sacked after the Crystal Palace game. I said if they get slapped up by Palace, I expect him to get sacked. I think that the writing is already the writing is already on the wall for Ten Hag. There is just no way in hell INEOS are looking at him and saying this is the manager to lead us forward. He is awful. Yo, Man United are playing some of the worst football I've ever seen. And I do a lot of watch alongs on this channel. And I try to avoid Man United because that shit feels like I did something wrong. I feel like I'm being punished when I have to watch these guys on TV. It is awful. And shout out to the chat who keep me entertained doing these watch alongs, or else it'd be a sleep along watching Manchester United. Bro, Ten Hag, it doesn't matter what happens in that FA Cup, whether they win or lose. Sack them. Sack them. Really? If INEOS really want to show that they're serious about making Man United great again, this manager cannot stay. He has no talent ID. Most of his signings have been flops. Guy spent what? Mason Mount, Anthony, who else? Onana, playing Garnacho over Amad Diallo. Signed Højlund for about $72 million. Made Bruno Fernandes the captain. Signed Johnny Evans in 2024. Johnny Evans, bro. Ten Hag is cooked. He's out of there. And you know what's actually funny, before you ask me whatever question you want to tell me, I think Man United are going to be back very soon. Very soon. Yes. If INEOS get it right, bro, Man United are not going to be shit for a long time. I think in like a season or two, they're going to be back to being right up there in top four because Man United are the biggest club in England. They have arguably the most money to spend. And if we're being honest, players want to play for them. But it all doesn't matter if this manager remains. Then, no, it doesn't. But I'm going to trust INEOS. I think United are in for a huge summer because this is going to be the first one that they're going to have at this club. And I think that they're going to want to make a statement. So I definitely expect them to make some noise. I'm not going to lie. But go ahead, bro.
I mean, so that actually kind of answers the question of what I was going to ask you. I was going to give you three managers, right, on the short list of who United are probably looking at for the summer. And you tell me from first to least of who you would have to manage the club for next season if Ten Hag was sacked. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So I have here Thomas Frank, right? Brentford manager.
Yeah.
All right. Thomas Frank. I have Kieran McKenna, who is the Ipswich manager that has led them to be promoted back-to-back seasons. That's another guy on the list right now. And I have Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel. Thank God you threw his name in there because I'm like a Brentford manager and then Ipswich Town. Get the hell out of here with those two bums.
So you would think so that would be so
out of those three, Thomas Tuchel, the other Thomas, and then the nigga that's at Ipswich. Get up out of here, bro. Bro, we're not hiring you.
So you want immediate success right now? What you're saying?
We're talking about Manchester United. Of course, they should be I'm not saying to win the Prem. I'm not saying to go win the Champions League. Well, they're not going to be in it next season. But, bro, you need a manager that's proven and that can win you some things. Again, if the club, because see, what teams are doing now is they're just making these managers head coaches. And the club are, yes, they're going to buy players that they want that also fit what the manager wants as well, but the club's going to be scouting them. Same thing like what they're going to be doing at Liverpool. Like Arne Slot is the head coach, technically. He's not the manager. He doesn't have that. He's the coach. Liverpool are going to buy the players, and you're going to have to get the best out of who we buy. I think you need a manager like Thomas Tuchel. Out of those three options, that's who I would go get. It's the obvious choice. He's clear of those two. He's clear of them. And real quick, back on the Ten Hag front, do you know that Man United have a negative goal difference? -3 goal difference. Big Manchester United, you know. -3 goal difference. And they're going to be praying for a miracle for them to finish in a Conference League spot. No way Ten Hag stays, bro. No way. But, I mean, like, what do you think about their future? Like, and how do you feel about Manchester United?
I mean, I would do what Arsenal did. I would sign a manager that we can give time to. And then it's a lot of dead wood at manager at United right now. I wouldn't look for immediate success. I really wouldn't, because I don't think they have the players to really do so right now. So that's my opinion. So I wouldn't even go for a Thomas Tuchel. I'd go for a Kieran Ipswich. I mean, sorry, Kieran Ipswich. A Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich manager. Yes, I'd go for him. Because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about Thomas Frank and his levels of what he could possibly do at United. It's going to be a big ask. We saw what happened with Graham Potter, so he didn't really live up to the expectations. And Thomas Tuchel, if you back him, then yeah, for sure, that'll be fine. But I think that with a big name manager, you're going to be expecting some big results early on, and that's not what the club needs right now to progress of where they want to play consistently.
Oh my goodness me. What is with you and this whole give time bullshit? Oh my gosh. We're talking about Man United are arguably the biggest club on this earth. And you're talking about,
you gotta realize where you are right now.
Bro, Man United have the money to spend where they can clear out the deadwood and then bring in players for right now anyways. Like, this is not everything has to be a 3 to 4 year process. Oh my goodness.
It don't gotta be a 3 or 4 year process. It could be a 2 to 3 year.
Bro, you're happy with Arteta. It's been 4.5 years. Nothing to show for it, but you're happy. So what are you talking? You would be the manager 4 years without nothing to show.
I am happy because I know that the next 10 years we're gonna be in it for sure. We might have a couple of them things. You feel me?
But you know this is not the old days, right? Just because just because Manchester United and Arsenal had managers that were there for 10 plus 15 plus years. You know that's not the norm, right? Like, so do you really think that Arteta, like, how much? I'm telling you, Arteta's done after next year, because I don't see you guys winning the league next season, and I don't see you winning the Champions League. I think maybe the FA Cup and Carabao Cup is your best shot at a trophy next season. I mean, but we have to see what you guys do in the summer. We have to see what business you guys do in the summer. But yeah, I mean, as far as Man United are concerned, I think I agree with you. They have to sell a lot of those players. There's only about 6 players, maybe 8, that I would keep at Man United. I think everybody else is able to go. I mean, if I was INEOS, the first thing I'm doing is sacking Ten Hag, right? Then I would bring back Sancho, bring back Mason Greenwood. I'd keep Casemiro, Varane, Kobe Mainoo, Amad Diallo, Delo.
You're about to list every player you would keep right now?
Yeah, that's about it. Now I'm saying it's only about 7 or 8 players that I would really keep. Everybody else has to be up for sale. It's a bunch of bums in that squad, right? Like Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Marcus Rashford, Megan Rapinoe, Anthony. Like, all these bums is in your squad.
How do you clear all that dead wood within one season?
No. Like, it would definitely take, I think, like maybe 2 summer windows to get rid of most of those.
Okay, so you have to back the manager and give him time anyway, right?
Well, no, because when you're a big club like Man United, you're just supposed to give the manager the money that's required, sell a few of them. You don't got to sell everybody, but you sell a few of them, and then you bring in some key players, and then the results should be looking a lot better, and you should be competing or winning trophies almost in your first season. It doesn't really have to take 2 or 3 seasons to expect trophies. Like, that's why when you're saying, oh, like, give Slot time at Liverpool, or the next Man United manager is going to need time. Yes, maybe time to win the Premier League, but then what about the other competitions? What about, like, again, if the Prem was the only trophy that was up for grabs, then maybe I'd feel a little differently. But you could win the FA Cup, you could win the Carabao Cup, right? I mean, so you got
but like, if you're trying to clear out the squad of the dead wood that you have right now, right? And you're trying to do that throughout the entire season, summer transfer windows, whatever the case may be, right? You're doing that while trying to compete for those titles that you're talking about, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, while also trying to compete for top 4, because according to you, they should still be good enough to be in and around it anyway. So at this point, we're talking about squad depth. Like, do they have the squad depth to really do that, to really compete for those trophies? And do they have the squad depth to be able to consistently have a run for top 4? Those are major things that we're not taking into account right now. And how they're going to be able to do that if you don't give the manager time to be able to consistently build a squad that can do that over time.
Well, I don't necessarily care about top 4. I think
but you gotta get Champions League though.
Top 4.
Yeah,
but then what does it really matter? Boy, what does it really matter? Man United don't need that money. Man United, hold on, wait. hold on, wait. Man United, they make, I think they are the most marketable club in the world. They make the most money every single season. They make damn near close to, in terms of just, if you want to average it out, to $1 billion a season.
Okay.
How much money they make, bro? Manchester United don't need to be in top 4 for them to have a successful rebuild. If they come 5th, or let's say 6th, and they win a FA Cup, they win a Carabao Cup, and if you're seeing progress from that manager in terms of the style of football looks nice and everything like that, then yeah, that manager should be given more time. Again, I'm not saying to go out there and win the league. I'm not saying to do that your first season. But if you're managing a club like Man United, arguably the biggest on this planet, actually the most successful, or I think Liverpool have surpassed them over the last few years. But point is, one of the biggest in England, yes, the expectations is while you're rebuilding, while you were clearing out the deadwood, we still expect you to win something. Yes. Don't care what you win, per se, but we expect you to win something.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that right now, agree to disagree with that.
Hey, by the way, if Ten Hag wins that FA Cup, you know that he's been more successful than Arteta, right? That's literally 2 trophies.
Not okay.
That's literally 2 trophies. That's two in 2 years.
Sure, why not? In a trophy sense, sure, why not? I can give you that. Okay. But as far as that, I know that he would trade right now. What we're going as far as trajectory, as opposed to where he is right now. That's for sure. But in a trophy sense, I will give you that.
Well, no, but just in a sports sense, because in sports, it's all about winning things. So you got to win things to be successful. Yeah, the progress looks nice. But if I'm failing math class and my progress has been good, but then at the end of the semester, I still fail, yeah, I made good progress. I got a little better. I can now do multiplication in my head instead of having to count my fingers, but I still failed. So, progress without the results doesn't really matter. That's my whole main thing. But, I mean
you rather fail 1 year, win 1 year, fail 1 year, as opposed to consistently passing your classes every year?
But you're being very extreme because
because
you may sack managers, it doesn't mean that you're gonna succeed 1 year, fail 1 year, succeed 1 year. No, if you have the right people running the club, bringing in the transfers every season, and if you have a good what's it called, like a good back room and a good upper management, you're gonna be fine. You're just making it seem like, oh, it's either steady success or fail, lose, fail.
But what have they done in the past to make you believe in that model, though?
Well, Manchester United, they now have a different direction underneath INEOS because they now have footballing people making those decisions. So INEOS have come in and they've fired everybody. They fired everyone. They brought in Barada from Man City. Hold on, wait. They brought in Barada from Man City. They're bringing in Dan Ashworth. They've been bringing in football guys. What I'm saying is, if Man United get it right, if they sack Ten Hag, and if they bring in the right manager, and if they also make, the signings that are required for them this summer to, strengthen their squad, I don't think that their rebuild is going to take that long. Now, I don't expect them to win the league, but I definitely expect them to be in and around finals for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying, bro.
It would depend on the players they have right now and the style of play that they're playing. That's what would determine if they are going to win those competitions. But I don't know, man. I think that you need more time to be able to build a model of success. I think you do.
I mean, I think 4 years is too long then, because 4 years is a very long time. So what are you doing in these 4 years that we're still not at a
long time, but 10 years is a longer time of being mid.
Yeah, but at least United, they're sacking the managers. They're not just accepting them not being good. No, we're gonna sack managers until we get the right one. I think that's how it should be, for sure. Especially when you're at a high pressure job like that, you should know what comes with it. You should know that winning is a minimum. Like at Bayern Munich, you win the Bundesliga, you still might get sacked because they just expect you to do that. How come you didn't win this cup? How come you didn't win this one? And then that's how the standard
left them. They didn't win anything this year. Should have kept my man.
For the first time in your football fandom life, they have not won a trophy. I would take 1 year of no trophy
after them sacking Nagelsmann, though.
No, because after they sacked Nagelsmann, they won Bundesliga last season.
I know, but I'm saying
And Nagelsmann wasn't their man. And Nagelsmann wasn't their coach. Like when they won it last season, he was sacked.
No, I get that. I get that. Like,
over the line.
Are we really holding Bayern Munich to that standard of winning the league? We're talking about Champions League with that team. Let's be honest here. I mean, like,
yeah, and Julian Nagelsmann wasn't not getting the job done. See, this is why Arsenal have low standards, because they're give them time and make an excuse. I
didn't say give them time. I just said
but you were
resulted into nothing.
No, but you were that's not necessarily true. One bad season, I'll give you that. But Bayern Munich have credit in the bank where if they have one bad season, all right, you know what? It's bound to happen eventually, right? You've won a trophy every season for the last 15 years. All right, if you have one that you don't win, it's weird and we're going to be mad about it. But we just go again next season because there's credit in the bank. Most of these English teams do not have credit in the bank to where if you don't win anything for one season, now people can give you the benefit of the doubt to now go win it next season. That's what I'm trying to say. So in terms of these managers, I think, yes, they are replaceable. And the way that people talk about some of their favorite managers, like, so God forbid Arteta dies tomorrow. God forbid. Then Arsenal might as well just shut down. You might as well just close the club down and not play again because there's no other manager that can go in there and do a job like Arteta's done. So then what's the point? Like, these are paid employees. They're not going to be here forever, bro. They are replaceable. Should be a revolving door until you get it right. And then, even if you do win trophies, let's say Arteta wins the Prem this season. All right. Well, you did a great job. Now let's say the next 4 seasons he don't win nothing. Yeah, he should be sacked after like 2 seasons. You should be sacked. Not just because you won something years ago means that your job's just safe forever.
I agree.
Come on, bro.
But I agree. I agree somewhat.
Okay. Now, I do want to kind of talk about Chelsea for a second, and then we can get up out of here. So, Chelsea, they ended the season really strong, man. They went from possibly not finishing in the top 6. I think now they're possibly going to finish in the top 6. But, I mean, talk to me about what you think about Chelsea, and do you even like their future, or how you think Pochettino's been doing? Should he be sacked? Like, of course you're going to say give him time, but just talking about Chelsea.
He shouldn't be sacked. I mean, like, from what you saw from the beginning of the season up until now, he has made adjustments to be able to turn it around for this club. I mean, they also had a lot of injuries this season as well, too. Their main man, quote unquote. I have this guy at the gym. He always talks about Nkuku. Every single time, that's his main man. He didn't play a majority of the entire season. So, like, they had a lot of injuries, and they struggled with that. And on top of that, it didn't help that what Poch was running as far as like the tactics at the beginning of the season were really unbalanced. They looked like out of sorts, even though they had a great squad, quote unquote. But I will say the past 2 months, he has turned it around and he has earned himself like more of optimism to go into next season, knowing that he's going to be able to have a full season again to get things right. So I wouldn't sack him just yet, obviously, but I would say next season they have more reason to be optimistic. They could now be in that 5th/4th conversation. Because I told you before the season started, I'm like, they will not be in that top 4 conversation. Doesn't matter what they did the past 2 months to get to 5th. They have not consistently been in that top 4 conversation. I know, whatever. Yeah, where they are now. Yeah. But like, they have not been in the top 4 convo the entire season, which is what I said they would not be. So next season, they possibly could do that.
Yeah, no, next season, Chelsea, they will be back. They'll be back in that top 4 conversation. And I think they weren't as bad as everybody wants to make it out like they were this season. Obviously, I know they didn't start that good, but, they still went to Wembley twice. Both those games I thought that they should have won. It's just they don't have nobody to put the ball into the back of the net. And I think that they got to go out there this summer, sell a few players, get a striker, get maybe another center back and a left back. And I think Chelsea are going to be just fine heading into next season. I was definitely one of those people, though, that thought that Pochettino needs to be sacked. But I think the last month and a half has saved his job. But I still do think the board should consider it. All right. I mean, look, I think if they go get like a De Zerbi, I think he would cook at Chelsea with the squad that they have. But for me, I believe in Chelsea's future. I think their owners have shown that they are ambitious. Like, you don't spend that much money if you're not. But I just think that where they're at, considering what they've spent, is a disgrace. And I think that they've bought wrong because they just went for too many young players. I think that you do need a squad that has some experience. And I think they will, right? Next season, they'll be in Europa League. I think that they will be the favorites to win that, or they should be one of the favorites. And I think next season, they're going to be back, bro. They've had a lot of injuries. Romeo Lavia didn't play either. Yeah, it's like you said. And Kunku missed damn near this entire season. Reece James has been out. And you got to look at the players that they have. And they're also being linked to some ballers as well. So I think Chelsea are going to be just fine. But I know a lot of people like to make it seem like they're just cooked and that it's over for them. But nah, not for me. Also, let's not forget about Cole Palmer, arguably the signing of the season. I mean, like, nobody saw that coming. I don't think anybody even expected Cole Palmer to be half as good as he was. I remember when they signed him for, like 40 M's? I was like, Cole Palmer for the guy that from City, like the academy kid that can't really play that much, 40 million? I'm like, yo, that seems like a lot of money. It's a bargain. It's a bargain right now. I also like Enzo Fernandez. I like Caicedo, even though, yes, I think that he has flopped, but I think he will come good. I think it's been a tough first season for him, but there is a player there. Same thing with Enzo. That first season that he came in after that World Cup, he was one of their best midfielders, but the team was playing so poorly that it dragged his levels down. You guys already know how I think about Reece James, the best right back in the world when healthy. The guy could just never be healthy, so that's why it is what it is. Malo Gusto, though, the right back that they brought in, good player. They also got, I don't know, Ian Mack's going to come back. But, yeah, good squad that they have there, and I think that Chelsea are going to be fine. They just got to make a few adjustments this summer. But Pochettino's job does need to be on the line.
All right. I mean, we'll see. Next season, it has to be put on paper. I mean, it has to be put on the field, not on paper. So, yes.
And then, I mean, and then maybe before the season even starts, we're going to be probably doing shows talking about our predictions. And, yeah, so we'll be here so we'll lock those in. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna lock them in. All right. Yeah. We'll probably wait until maybe like a week or so. We'll probably wait before like a week or so before the season actually starts. Let's get some transfers in. Let's see. And I know that in August you can still make moves. So maybe we can wait until the end of August, but then there's already like 3 or 4 games that might have been played by then. So then that might view your point, that might skew your point. So we're still gonna do it maybe the beginning of August. We'll give our predictions. But yo, bro, you anything else that you want to talk about before we head on out of here?
Nah, man. Just want to say I cooked you as usual. But shout out to all the people in the chat, man. You guys were a big boost for this show. And looking forward to the next time for sure.
Yeah, bro. We'll be back sometime next week. Definitely did not cook me. Never have in your life. Still waiting to lose an argument. Plus L. Anyway, people, make sure to smash that like button. Don't forget to share and don't forget to subscribe. And again, if you do happen to watch towards the end of this video, get in the comment section and make sure to follow my guy Eddie on Instagram. Let him know how bad his takes were and let him know to raise the standards at Arsenal because it's people like him that keep them in the mud. But that's all that I got today, people. We are out. Oh, wait. Whoa. I almost forgot. Tomorrow, Sunday, I will be live. We will be, not we, because it'll just be me, but I will be doing Augsburg versus Bayer Leverkusen Bundesliga match at 9:30 in the morning. I'm only doing that, Edwin, because Bayer Leverkusen are still they're still undefeated this season. And if they win tomorrow, they win the Bundesliga invincible. I'm just watching to see, can Augsburg spoil the party? Like, that league's already wrapped up.
They draw too. I mean, like, they have 2 options.
No, but if they draw, it doesn't really matter because it's still an unbeaten season, right? I need to see that L on the paper because I am a hater, okay? I don't want to see Bayer Leverkusen do well, even though I do like Gabi Alonso. Yeah, nah. I'm a hater, bro.
This guy just sprays hate everywhere he goes.
Yeah, bro, everywhere.
You need to be canceled.
Nah, bro, I definitely think that Bayer Leverkusen are going to lose it. There's no way.
What?
They're doing an invincible treble. There's no way.
End the show.
Then Sunday, we'll be doing a watch along for West Ham versus Man City, only because with the title being in their hands, if they do drop points, we will be there, right? There's no point in, because I was thinking about doing the Arsenal Everton game, but then I'm like, yeah, Arsenal should win, but if they do win, it's not going to matter if City don't drop points. So, yeah, I think like that just makes the most sense to me to watch City versus West Ham in case the Hammers can do Arsenal a huge favor. And then I believe at 1 p.m. that day also, we're going to be doing Real Madrid versus Villarreal. So, yeah, people, busy weekend ahead. As I said, shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to my guy, Eddie, as always, for coming on. We will be back sometime next week, maybe next Friday or maybe Monday. Who knows? Nah, definitely Monday, actually. Yeah, let's lock it in for Monday, bro, if you have the time, because now we can really talk with everything being finalized. But, all right, guys, we are out. Peace.